Algebra 1 students, welcome to the second day of our very first lesson in Algebra 1. Today we are still evaluating expressions and equations, and today you should be able to simplify expressions with the order of operations and simplify absolute value expressions and equations. So if you take a look at our agenda, we have our opener, which we'll have every single day, and then we're taking notes, and then you have homework that is online on our class website. Okay, so here we go. Nathan sold 34 trading cards, and each was 50 cents more than the price that he purchased them. That's pretty cool. If each card was originally 25 cents, how much did he gross? Okay, so we kind of have a lot going on here, so let's kind of slow it down and take a look at it. 34 cards, and he originally bought them for 25 cents each. So let's go ahead and do that math. So we have 34 trading cards, and he bought them for 25 cents each. Okay, so that is $8.50. So $8.50. So that's how much he paid for these 34 cards. Then he turned around and sold them. So then he turned around and took all 34 cards and sold them for 50 cents more than he bought them. So if he bought them for 25 cents, he sold them for 50, that means he 50 cents more, that means he sold them for 75 cents. Right? Let's think about that for a second. He bought them for a quarter, 25 cents. Then he sold them 50 cents more than what he bought them. So that's 75 cents. Good, a card. So 34 cards times 75 cents a piece, that is $25.50. So he purchased them for $8.50, and then he turned around and sold them for $25.50. So the question is, how much did he gross? What was his profit? That's important. How much money did he make? That's what that means. And so we would just simply subtract those two, $25.50 minus the $8.50, and he made 17 bucks. $17. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to have nice clean notes, right? A nice title, pause this video, write absolute value down. Take time before I even do the problems to write down all 4 of these. Like right now. Yeah, do it right now. Okay, push pause. All right, guys, so now that you've taken the time to write this down in your notes, which is so important for your learning, let's talk about absolute value. So absolute value are those bars, right? And it means how far away from 0 on a number line, right? So it's distance. And distance can never be negative, and that's why the absolute value of a number is always positive, because it's like how many steps away from 0. Even if you're in the negative direction or the positive direction, it's how many physical steps you are away from 0. Okay, so it says the absolute value of 25. That means that it is 25 away from 0, and therefore we can just write 25. Now the second one across is a little bit more tricky. So see how this says -3? So like on a number line, -3 is still 3 hops over from 0. So the absolute value of -3 is 3. This right here is 3. And then this negative also has to drop down, so the final answer is -3. All right, so the absolute value of -18, that's just 18 because it's 18 steps away from 0. And then the last one, let's do each part separately and then subtract in the middle at the end. So the absolute value of -4 is 4. The absolute value of -6 is 6. And 4 subtract 6 is a -2. Let's make that like a real equal sign. All right, let's take a look at the next slide. All right, so I want you, again, if you see that it's a nice title, write down evaluating equations. So we're going to take a look at an equation, we're going to evaluate it, and what's different today than yesterday is that we are going to work with absolute value. So same thing though as yesterday, I'm going to write y equals 1 squared is 1 plus the absolute value of 3. Now I know the absolute value of 3 is 3, so it really becomes y equals 1 plus 3, so y equals 4. That's an ugly 4. Okay, I don't like it. I'm erasing it. Y equals 4. Okay. Let's take a look at another example. All right, make sure to take your time and to write this out. And what do I mean by that? Like, write down find y when x equals -2. That's really important because when you're studying this and getting ready for a quiz, you could look at your work and go, I have no idea what I was even doing that problem. Like, where did the -2 come from? So it's really important for online learners to write down everything that you see. Does that mean you have to pause the video and do it? Yep. It's just going to be habit. All right, so we want to plug in -2 wherever we see an x. So this -2 wherever we see an x. And looks like we see it in 2 places. So that means we're going to plug it into both. So we have y equals the absolute value of -2. Also, a little trick is those little absolute value bars, try to draw them longer because sometimes it looks like a 1. If it's in front of something, that's kind of tripped me up a few times. And then subtract, and then this is x squared, but remember also from the other video, we want to put it in parentheses because we're substituting in that -2 in there, and so we want those parentheses to know that that x was -2. All right, so let's keep going. So I keep carrying down the y equals. It's a great habit. And the absolute value of -2 is 2. I'm going to bring down the subtraction bar because I need to, with order of operations, I need to do the exponent first. So -2 squared means -2 times -2. Well, a negative times negative is a positive, and 2 times 2 is 4. So that is 4. And I'm going to slow that down just a little bit, and I want to show you that this equals this 4, right? Because it's -2 times -2, which is a positive 4. And then I brought this negative sign down, and then we did this math of the absolute value of -2 is 2. Okay, so then now we can just look at the equation going straight across, and y equals 2 minus 4, which is a -2. All right, how you feeling? Oh, I hate that I can't hear you. I'll just be like, this is great. This is not great. I don't know. Let me know though. Let me know though. For real. Email me. I want to hear it. I want to hear from you. Okay, so this is the last slide of today, and we're looking at patterns and relationships. Now, I know this is a lot for you to copy down. I get it, but it's key. It's valuable. It's going to be on a quiz. It's going to be on a test. It's huge in Algebra 1. Right? And so we really look at patterns and relationships in algebra. And so please pause this video and copy this down perfectly. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look. How is this pattern growing? Well, we're going from figure 1, I have 2 blue squares, to figure 2, I have 3 blue squares, and figure 3, I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4. So it looks like I'm gaining 1 each time, but we want to be more specific instead of just saying, it's getting bigger by 1. So it was straight across, straight across, straight across, and each one is an additional square going down. So we want to be very specific when we write this. So how is it growing? It's growing by 1 square, adding down, I guess is the best way to put it. Unless, see, this is why some of you have like a really great way of putting something, and then you say it and I'm like, yeah, that's even better than my idea. Okay, growing by 1 square each time in the first column down, growing by 1 square down, whatever, that's fine. We just know it's going down by 1. Okay, we're good. Okay, and then how many squares will there be in figure 0? Okay, so if this is figure 1, figure 0 would be right here, right? And that means that like if it's going backwards, so like this to here, looks like it's losing this one, and then it's losing this one. So this is the first square that would go away. So what we would say, how many squares would be figure 0? There would be 1 square And if it asks like, where would that square be, we would say that the square to the left would go away and we would be left with the square to the right. All right, guys, that is it for today's lesson, and I hope you're having a great day. And don't forget, you can Zoom if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye.